Hello, trading is closed on November 29th, 2019. Let's go over our calls. We had a target of 31.50.51. That printed and there was resistance over that price. We said it was important for the bulls to clear this high promptly because if it stayed here, this would be the top of a rising wedge. But we also said we have to wait until Monday to be sure because you can't have a lot of confidence in what happens in abbreviated sessions such as we had today because all the players aren't around. Kind of like relying on the overnight session. My friend, late friend, Mr. Blount said that futures lie and cash does not. And the same thing is true about abbreviated sessions. So I think we'll have to wait until Monday, but it's still possible to read recent action as a rising wedge. Okay, so why won't this let me do my thing? There we go. Well, we didn't really have much in the way of MEJT signals today, but we did get bar 13 of a combo sell signal from Tom DeMark. I actually saw him on TV. Someone sent a YouTube video to me, and he's ignoring the recycle. He has a slightly higher price target, but he's counting this as his alignment of sell signals. Again, these have failed a number of times. I'm more impressed with the upper Bollinger being hit. No, I really think there are a number of ways to count this, to count the waves. You can make it say whatever you want to say. This is a candidate for the high of the leg, and if that were it, you'd like to have a clear 5-wave pattern. I always thought this was kind of overlapping, and maybe it is, maybe it isn't. It's not as clear as I'd like, but I can't say it's impossible. This leg 1 wasn't as clear as I would like either. But if you move the alternate B over to here, there is a very clear count if you count this as an ABC. Just because it's clear doesn't mean it's right. But if that's B, this is blue A. You've got A, B, you've got C exactly equal to A. It's a beautiful thing. And all these internal fibs work. So if we do drop in here, there's a clear count. And if that is the end of blue B, then blue C often is equal to A, and that's over 200 handles. All this falls apart if we overtake this high, and it's imperative for the bulls that they overtake it promptly to invalidate this count. Well, Monday's pattern has the early low. We could gap up first. Yesterday's high meets a number of criteria for the end of the up leg. What's missing is a more convincing drop than we've had, deterioration of breadth, and undercutting of prior lows. I'm very suspicious when you break down during lunch hour. Usually when you have a drop like this, and at the end of the first hour of trading, beginning of the second, you're nowhere near breaking down to new lows. Usually you won't undercut this by very much till the last hour of trading, and if you do, it tends to retrace. That's why I think gapping up Monday isn't impossible. But I don't really trust moves that take these out during lunch because that's when you get false moves. So what happens when you get the last hour is the lunch hour? And the answer is it hasn't happened often enough for me to know. All right, Bulls need to gap and promptly overtake today's high. When this drops like this, when it's a day which usually rallies, it typically leads to more decline. Now, Monday's opens a substitute for today's low, so if we gap and take this out, the negativity is erased. Otherwise, if we don't gap over this high, or at least gap and trade over it promptly, we should see lower prices. Doesn't mean you have to close lower, but it would be negative. They need to overtake today's high, the bulls do. If they don't, I expect lower prices. I don't think such a gap is impossible because the timing of today's low of decline is suspect, but I don't think it's required either. We have a number of things, not everything we need, but quite a few things that would qualify this as a high. If this is a top, the drop should be worth over 200 handles. I don't think you'll lose much if you wait for more confirmation than we have now. Now we do have the volatility indices have reversed from their respective lower Bollinger Bands, and that gives a sell signal too. Upper band is so close, it's possible, not required, that we could reverse from after we go over the upper band too, and that gives a buy signal. So it's a lot of what I need. It just isn't everything of what I need, and we'll have to see how we open. We open up here on Monday. A lot of the negativity goes away, but you still have to clear these highs. If we move down sharply at Monday's open, which is possible, it greatly increases the chances this is the end of the leg. Now, for the next week and a half, I have personal business to attend to. I won't always have access to my usual computer, and I'm going to try to make videos every night, but I can't promise I'll be able to. Just in case I don't, here's which days have the early highs, which days have the early lows. So we're in a position where we have a possible high. We actually have a beautiful wave count. We have the demarked sell signals, and we have the volatility Bollinger Band reversal sell signals, but we don't have everything to make me totally convinced. We've had some good sell signals before. We've gone right through to higher prices. We really need more convincing action on the downside. We need to see more deterioration of breadth, and we need to see prior lows being undercut before we can be totally convinced. This is a candidate. It's a good candidate, but it's not a lock. So we'll look for the early low Monday. Doesn't mean you won't gap up, and that's today's call.